Tonight, we're fawning over the latest season of Survivor. We're talking about the All American Rejects and their really cool new concert formats. And we're letting our black little hearts judge the cast reveals of the upcoming season of Love Island. As always, we name our liar of the week and prove that there's a little bit of emo in everyone. Your friends and family might think this is trash TV. Your mom might have called your love for emo music a phase. But here we know, pop culture moments and alternative music scenes shaped us and still do. Let's laugh together, cry together, scream at the TV together. Welcome to Reality Emos. Today, this week again, we start with a rant. And it's about the latest season of Survivor Season 48, which just ended last Wednesday. It was a 3-hour finale, and I'd really like to say, how dare you, Survivor Season 48? How dare you at a time where my hope is less hopeless? I'm hopeless. Where humanity feels so dark and malevolent, how dare you restore my faith in humanity, especially American humanity? How dare you give us a cast so perfect, so authentic? How dare you create a cast so diverse where I'm sure every person in your audience could see themselves in someone there? How dare you give us beautiful moments? How dare you make me cry every other episode? So, Survivor Season 48 was literally perfect. At first, I was a little hesitant to believe in it when I saw they did the whole 3 different tribes. Everyone is split up in 3 different tribes. There's 6 people per tribe. Really good characters that you kind of want to see more of. They end up going home early, like Thomas, like Sai. I wanted to see that storyline play out. Um, but somehow it still was so perfect. That's the beauty of Survivor. The casting was amazing, the production as usual, the way that I know I've seen the reward challenges and immunity challenges that they do a million times, and I'm still on the edge of my seat. uh, how dare you give us moments like this?
Joe, you want to give her a hug?
Thank you. Yeah.
So, for context, for anyone not familiar with this season, Eva and Joe were originally on the same tribe, and Eva let Joe know that she was diagnosed with autism and provided him with the ability to know how to spot when she's struggling, how to know how to comfort her very early on in the game, and trusted him with that information. And when they were split up on 2 different tribes, Joe did that. He made it very obvious that they were aligned in some way, whether emotionally or, true to the game types of alliances. That's just generally not something you do. You don't show your cards like this. And it was so powerful that Jeff noticed that this was something that needed to happen. Um, and it was so powerful that, this is how Jeff reacted after Eva informed everyone that she is an autistic woman on this tribe, playing this game. This is how Jeff reacts.
Extremely overstimulated, I will get ungrounded and I'll lose control of myself. And luckily I was able to still finish the challenge. I can't believe I finished it. I can't believe that happened. But when I did finish it, all of a sudden everything just came over me and I got extremely overwhelmed.
To play Survivor for anybody. But for you to come out here knowing something like this might happen and then be brave enough to share your story, because there is a young girl or boy just like you watching right now going, hey, mom, hey, dad, now you got me. I'm a parent too, and I do see it. And wow, this has never happened. But I see it too, and it's why I love Survivor. I really do. I like that, Joe may end up blindsiding you or him, who knows? But in this moment, it's possible to have all of this work. All right, Vula, Logie, no tribal council. I've cried enough. Grab your stuff, head out. Enjoy the.
So, me too, Jeff. This is also why I love Survivor. There are so many moments, especially in season 48, where you feel the heart of the tribe members and you see the beauty and humanity. And it didn't stop at Joe and Eva. The casting again was amazing. They had Mitch there with a stutter, and the way that he was so brave coming there, the way that he has now opened doors for other folks with a stutter to feel comfortable being, in front of a large audience like this. I think that's really powerful. Kyle's story. So Kyle was the winner of this season right here. He teamed up with Camilla from day one, and no one knew when they both got to the final four. No one knew they were working together, and Kyle ended up winning, even though Joe and Eva were also in the final three with him. It shows you how good of a game he played. He also had an amazing story. He was incarcerated and became a lawyer and a teacher, also kept being a lawyer secret. He played a really great game. I'm so excited that he won, but honestly, anyone in the top three, top four, even five, if they would have won, I would have been happy for them. This was a really great season, and I also love that, like, jury management, that tends to be a huge thing in Big Brother. If you've like hurt someone or been the person that was the cause of them being out, you tend to lose votes in the jury, and it seemed like there weren't any bitter folks there, and Kyle was able to take the survivor crown there, the survivor chick. Really great season. If you don't watch Survivor, you can start with this season. It's great, and then just go back, watch from season one. It's one of the best shows out there. All right. Up next is a segment called Music Excite Factory. This is one where I just talk about exciting things happening in the email alternative scene. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows All American Rejects. Were going across the country, touring on college campuses. They were at graduation parties. They were at farmhouses, bowling alleys. They took $50,000 from their own pockets and did this. And we're just asking for donations at the door. I'm sure not everyone donated. I'm sure they didn't really get their money back. And they also didn't really technically need to do this. They're going on a stadium tour with the Jonas Brothers, so it's not like they were desperate. But seeing this has been really incredible to watch a band who understands what the 2000s emo scene was, literally bring us back to the time where you don't have to pay hundreds of dollars to Ticketmaster for the ability to see them live. I think it's made folks feral, but like also tame the same way. Like, I can't imagine being at a normal show on the rooftop and like no barriers or gates around the band, and like folks are just normal. It's again another reason last week's episode featured Turnstile in my Music Excite Times. I really love bands that like allow that those more intimate moments for their audiences. And I say we're feral because like this was the line for their very last show in Nashville. It got leaked that they were playing a show in East Nashville. The address got leaked and about 16,000 people RSVP'd. And here was the line for that. I mean, they did have their tour bus out there, so who are they kidding? But people just really like, I doubt everyone's even like an actual All American Rejects fan. They just really are craving concerts and music experiences like this again. But again, like we see J Lo and Katy Perry having a hard time selling out their shows, this feels like great marketing for any of their future endeavors. They recently put out a single. I hope you've heard it. It's called Sandbox. It has a music video that's super creepy and cool. They have another new single coming out in about a week, and they do have plans to release a full album after all this time again. I believe Tyson said next year, probably around February. So they have a lot of exciting things going on again. They are going to be touring with the Jonas Brothers, but this was like a little side quest for them, and I love it. Tyson has also insinuated in interviews they might pick this back up, whether it be before their Joe Bros tour or after, but you can sign up for them to come to your town. I'll leave a link in the description for that. I thought this was also kind of interesting. Like, Survivors restoring my faith in humanity, All American Rejects, they are restoring my faith in police. So we're there in the corner.
We gotta stop it. The cops just shut us down. Sorry, y'all. We just got kicked off campus.
So there's about a minute or so of people sharing their opinions about police. But then
They said we can play one more fucking song. We get one more sound!
in a way, things like this make you feel like the world is healing. It's awesome. Again, on the left here is a still from their Sandbox music video. I highly recommend you check it out. And then they have another single coming up next week, Easy Come, Easy Go. It looks super fun. It's like stop it clay animation. And then we also have their upcoming tour with the Joe Bros starting in August. So super excited times for All American Rejects. And honestly, they'll hold a special place in my heart. I'll keep this short, but they're the first emo band I ever heard. I heard them on the school bus. I was only listening to gospel at the time. And once I heard them, I was like, yo, what is this? And I had to know. I started downloading their discographies on LimeWire, went wild. But shout out to them. Up next is a segment I call Reddit Realness. So I spend a lot of time on Reddit, and I found myself on the Real Housewives Reddit, and shared that OK Magazine has gotten a scoop that Dolores Catania's on the going to be on the new season or new franchise of Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's a new franchise called Real Housewives of Rhode Island. And apparently they've filmed the pilot only allegedly, and they're already having Dolores join that cast. So she's renting a home and joining the cast. Reddit had a lot of feelings, but I think the one that stuck out to me most is she's a Cynthia. Unanimous BB16 believes she's a Cynthia, someone that is easy for producers to work with will film with anyone individually, and can be a bridge to group setups to get the cast to film together, essentially. But OK Carpenter 2983 had a really good point. If Rhode Island has a cast that is so divided that they won't film together already, and they need to bring boring Dolores to bridge the gap on their first year, that's going to be a tiresome franchise. No thanks. I put boring in quotes. I don't want that smoke from Dolores. That's OK Carpenter's opinion, not mine. But I do agree with the sentiment of it, maybe not the words. Like, I think that out of the new franchises, the one that's been most exciting is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, because they don't need outsiders to be who they are. You can tell that they've been friends for a while. You can tell that what we're seeing and they're presenting on the screen is them and their dynamic with or without cameras there. And there's already folks that act as the glue. Heather for you to essentially bring an outsider in, whether it's to garner excitement from the fans to force us to watch it. You know how sometimes, like, for example, Vanderpump Rules kicked off with um the cast serving at a Beverly Hills party, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills party. That's how we were introduced to the cast of Vanderpump Rules. If it's like that, then cool. But if they're bringing her there to potentially be a castmate, which is what it sounds like, they're saying she's renting a home there to see if it's somewhere she'd move because we know Jersey's most likely not going to be premiering again with the same cast. Probably a brand new cast if they come back at all. So, yeah, I agree that it's not a great sign. Um, but I also saw murmurs in this Reddit thread that Dolores is friends with someone on the cast, so it makes sense for her to move to that franchise. It would feel a bit more organic than we would expect. So then I decided to try to figure out who the cast was. Again on Reddit. Thank you, Reddit. On the Real Housewives Reddit, Sad Gypsy Girl shared the alleged cast list for Real Housewives of Rhode Island. It's alleged, um, and I felt, I don't know, for some reason I gravitated towards like one of these women being Dolores's friend, but I then just like stopped going down that path because I got distracted by the comments on this thread for Reddit. So a lot of folks had a lot of opinions, but the sentiment seemed to be similar around that all the women look the same, which is why it kind of got hard for me to just try to start figuring out who Dolores was friends with. I feel like even if I saw a picture, if I like did this research, found the picture of the person, it would still take me a while to figure out who she is in that picture. But anyway, so yeah. Artist Dent 6129 says, "Is this one person with 8 personalities?" I wouldn't be surprised. Get out of here. Like, there's only one blonde. I saw a comment that said, I thought it was the same person until I got to the blonde one. Um, most of them go with DeFlo says most of them look the same. I prefer older women with drinking problems. I'm serious. That was a sentiment across the board. Cupcake Fix says same. I've had the chance to work in the same field with different demographics, and me and the old job catered to the young influencer, vapid and terrible. My current job is full of old wealthy housewives, and they're a new level of unhinged entertainment. So, oh, clearly blue 77. Influencers tanked Roni. These look like influencers. I'll pass. So again, this was a sentiment across the board. Miss Know It Nothing at All says we want old money problematic cougars. 100% flowed under that, and I agree. And this adorable tip 2881 says, I was kind of hoping for older, more traditionally wealthy woman versus young influencer types. Like, give me some Newport slash Kennedy vibes. Yes, yes, yes. Adorable tip 2881. I wholeheartedly agree. And I really hope Bravo producers are on Reddit because this is what the people want. It's what they crave. The funniest comment to me that I think could save the show is from Ajax Raccoon. Please have one work at Dunkin's. Sprinkle some simple life in there. Might save it. All right, up next is an empty space, but it's a segment that I hope to hear from the audiences from in future episodes. You know, I shared a confession last week about my opinion of Sonia Morgan, and I could mention it all. I could, but I don't think that's necessarily productive for me to keep sharing opinions. So if you have an opinion that you want to get off your chest, you can share this in the Reality Emo's confessional booth. It's anonymous. So maybe you have a housewife's opinion that could ruin a brunch with your friends and you want to share it. Maybe you have a confession about a crazy night at Warped Tour that you want to share. Or maybe you secretly really like Machine Gun Kelly's pop punk era. I know I do. And I'm not scared to share that, but some of you have been. You can spill it anonymously. I have my NGL link all over my socials. It'll be in the description. People want to hear from you. They want to hear anonymous confessions, and I want to read them. I'll read the best, I'll read the worst, I'll read anything that you want to get off your chest. Up next, we've got our Love Island cast reveals to talk about. So they dropped the cast on Thursday, May 29th. So we're going to watch that and, dig a little deeper, see how we feel about these cast members.
I'm such a communication nerd. I've always been a more emotional type of guy, so I really don't care if I cry in front of you. Boy, the great guy scale, I'm really like 3/4 great guy most of the time.
So Jeremiah there, he is 25 years old. He's from LA and he is a model. I would highly recommend just keeping an eye on the occupations of all of these folks. We might sense a trend.
Zodiac signs. No, I'm not going to judge you based off your zodiac. Okay, I am, but not like fully going to judge you. I'm Haitian. I do speak a little bit of Creole. Sac passe. Hey.
So Shelly there is 27 from Orlando, Florida. Occupation. I mean, she looks like it. She's a model.
I was in a 9-year relationship. He left me. I'm glad he broke my heart because look at me here. I want my man to nurture me. I'm your baby. I am a baby. I'm 4'10".
I'm a short king. I ain't got no problem talking to.
So Yulisa there is 27 and she's from Miami and she is a real estate and hospitality worker. There have been murmurs that there are a few Trump supporters on this cast. I think we want to remember that the power is in our hands when we vote for who stays and who goes. All right.
Tell the ladies, well, I'm not being no damn little spoiled. Dancing brings me joy. I got my rhythm from my mom. My pops, he got 2 left feet. Who called the pool man? I love making people laugh.
Ace there. So it's come out that he has taught a lot of men from Pakistan to dance. There's like a trend on TikTok where they were all dancing really well. And it's rumored that Ace Green is the reason for this. He's 22, he's from LA, and he's an influencer and content creator and a good dancer, as we can tell.
I look damn good while cleaning a pool. I got a pretty decent bulge, but that's because I stuff it. No, I'm just kidding.
Aloha.
A man of few words, Austin. He is 26 from Northville, Michigan, and he's a quote-unquote pool man. Think of how short that intro was. You can kind of tell who the supporters of the taco dude is because of their minds. And Austin's one of them.
My family and I, we own a coffee shop. I'm in the back with flour all over my face, baking pastries. I love working at the coffee shop. You make everybody's day better by handing them coffee all day. It's amazing.
Bella, she is so cute. 22 from Honolulu, coffee shop owner / worker.
Howdy, I'm a cowboy. I was on a horse before I could walk. You're not being dangerous and you're not living life. My type of girl, good personality, a city girl would be cool. Big booty for sure, big booty.
Taylor there, he's 24 from Oklahoma City, and he's a model. We're back in model territory.
For work, I am a first-generation college student. College football is my life. My touchdown dance. I'm gonna say, touchdown.
Alondria, she is 27 from Decatur, Alabama, and she also is a model.
Down for anything, whether that be skydiving, motorcycling, huge into extreme sports. When I see a new experience, like I have to try it.
Nicholas there's 24 from Jacksonville, Florida, and he's an RN and a model.
Looking for somebody who's my lifelong partner. I don't want a guy who's at the club texting a million different girls. I'm tired of going on stupid dates, Love Island, Find me a man.
So Huda there, she is 24 from Raleigh, North Carolina, and she's an athlete. I should have prepared a pie chart of um the model to other job ratio, but I believe it's probably 80%. So this will be a very pretty cast. I watch it for the prettiness, so it's cool. The bright colors, the pretty people. It's why we watch it. I hope that there's substance coming from their mouths, but I don't, I don't want to judge that every model's dumb. Sorry, it's kind of rude, but we'll see. Um, they're in there for about 3 days before we get to vote for who stays and who goes. There's been a lot of digging on some of these folks. So I'd recommend maybe seeing the digging to understand who you truly like there. Or stay blind. That's fine. Up next, we're naming our liar of the week. And it is Mr. Craig Conover. This was an easy one. After watching Kyle and Lindsay on Watch What Happens Live together find partnership and joy in talking about this ring, I really wanted to figure out my deep feelings about this. The timeline doesn't make sense after looking into it. The words Craig says doesn't make sense. His actions don't make sense. Like, none of it makes sense. So this ring is not a thing. I think Craig sometimes, I know a few people like this. They will do something to make their lie not actually be a lie in their head. So I really do feel like he bought a ring pop and returned it to the bodega that he got it from the morning of that Watch What Happens Live taping, that he's told Andy he returned the ring. He didn't need it in his custody anymore. It's odd to me that Austin and Shep have never seen the ring. No one. No one's seen this ring. No one. Craig never took a picture of it to prove it. Like, there's no receipts. So the biggest reason that made me feel that he didn't buy this ring was when I remembered when he was dating Naomi, this actually happened.
When you meet that special person, like, you're not gonna just run away from them.
I'll definitely take it.
Just a lot of money.
I think I'll make her really happy, though.
I want to spoil Naomi, and I want her to have something that she can wear that connects her to me, I guess. You know, everything's in order with my work and my money. I don't want the one thing I mess up to be Naomi.
So we're to believe that when Craig was with Naomi, he took Cameron to buy a promise ring. And he had it on camera. And when he's with Paige, the love of his life, like his soulmate, he didn't take Shep, Austin, Madison, didn't ask. Someone made a good point on Watch What Happens Live, I think it was, or maybe it was the reunion. Craig didn't ask Paige's dad before buying the ring. Like, none of this makes sense. The boy's a liar. And he deserves Lie of the Week for this whole year until he gives this lie up. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to waste my breath anymore on this. So, Craig, just give this one up. I mean, if you get asked again, come clean. Come clean, boy. All right, next up is a segment called There's a Little Emo in Everyone. Now, I was not going to watch The Valley, but I started. I don't know what, a few people told me to start watching, so I did. And I don't know why I wasn't watching it, to be honest. It's a good show. Um, but watching it, I do know why I didn't watch it, and it's because of Jax Taylor. He's literally one of the worst people to be on Bravo, in my opinion. He's an awful person. He's narcissistic. He's abusive. Awful, awful person. I can't believe he has a child. Um, so this week we're featuring Brittany. She has a little emo in her. And the song that comes to mind when I think of Brittany Cartwright is a song by The Academyists. So I don't know how many people are familiar with this song or the Academyists in general. I actually have a blog on the way about them. But anyway, this song is about William Beckett's childhood and how he witnessed his mother go through domestic abuse. There's actually an interview that I'll be sure to link in the description that he provided about this song. And he said it's about the relationship between his parents when he was young, and he witnessed domestic abuse through a child's eyes. The latter half of the song details how life is always worth living and moving forward through the best of times and the worst of times. And Brittany has really, we've seen her come in with this bubbly personality into now on the Valley being sort of a shell of that person. We see a lot of anger. We still can see her working through that smile. Like, she does smile, she does giggle, she does have a brightness to her, but she's definitely very different. And we have recently heard that Ring camera footage made Lala super worried about her. We've seen with our own eyes the way he texted her when he was supposed to be in therapy and rehab. So, like, it's very obvious that she's going through a lot, and most importantly, it's obvious that their child is not in a home where he's going to grow up knowing how to treat a woman right. You know, he's not growing up in a healthy place. So this song reminds me of Brittany Cartwright and also their son. And I'm so glad and happy that she found a way out because a lot of women stay, especially when you have a child. And she's going to see that her life is worth living and moving forward, and she's going to have some really good times. And I hope she really does stay away from Jax because he's the worst. Okay. Last, we've got ourselves a reality email special report. So, dear diary, today my bank account, it's weeping, and my screen time, it's skyrocketed. Here's what's happening this week in tour and premiere news. You heard that right. All American Rejects, they will be touring with the Joe Bros. And I'm not emotionally prepared. I tend to stay away from stadium tours, but this one, I'm giving it a go. I can't wait to see All American Rejects live. This is probably like my third time seeing them. With the Jonas Brothers, I've never seen them. You can grab your tickets now. And then they also, again, are announcing an album. They're coming out with a few singles. Details are really tight-lipped. But early rumors say that it's going to be a matured pop-punk anthem album. And I believe it after hearing the latest single Sandbox and a snippet of the newest one. Cartel has announced the Chroma 20-year anniversary tour to commemorate 2 decades of their debut album, Chroma. The tour kicks off with performances at Vans Warped Tour in Washington, D.C. for their June dates, Long Beach, California for their July dates, and then it will be followed by a series of dates across the U.S. starting in September. I'll be sure to link how to get your tickets in the description. I already got mine. My Chemical Romance is embarking on their long-lived Black Parade North American Stadium tour, performing their iconic 2006 album in its entirety. It's going to begin on July 11th and start in Seattle, and it's going to include stops across the US. What's really cool about this is that each show features a unique opening act. So you can see, depending on your city, the Violent Femmes, 100 Gex, Wallows, Garbage, Death Cab for Cutie, Alice Cooper, Pixies, Devo, Idols, and Evanescence. Tickets are available now. Maybe. They might be sold out in your city. I'll be sure to link where to get tickets in the description. Just a reminder, BravoCon tickets go on sale next Friday, June 6th at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time. I highly recommend experiencing BravoCon at least once in your lifetime, if not every single year. And last but not least, Destination X, it premiered on May 27th. It's available now on Peacock, and it's like The Amazing Race meets The Traitors. So it's kind of unhinged, and I'm kind of liking it, and I highly recommend it. That's it for this week's special report. Now go watch your stories. Go buy those tickets. You only live once. And if you do end up spilling the funds for one of these concerts, please tag me so I can live vicariously through you. All right, y'all, that's all I got today. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, send a confession, and have an amazing day.